Hello everyone, welcome to Geek Down.
Yeah.
Your host every week with you is Garfias. And we have our full cast again this week. We have John David Rivera.
Hello everyone. Nice to see you guys. It's been too long.
We also have Bobby, Dean, Robert Avila.
Oh, yeah.
Which name would you like to go by?
Oh, just Bobby.
Okay, Bobby it is.
Yeah.
Is that like a SAG thing? Are you trying not to?
Shh.
Oh, okay.
Said what?
And rounding out the cast, Adam Barajas.
Yes, sir.
And on that note,
What a cast this is.
we're ready.
Stacked.
Starting this week though, it's going to be a little sad news.
Oh man.
Said with a smile.
Yes. A man who brought lots of joy to our lives, especially mine, was Gene Wilder, died this week at age 83. Famous for many roles, but my personal favorite, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Also movies, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, The Producers. But like I said, my personal favorite, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I definitely, growing up as a kid, I read the book just because when I saw the movie, I just fell in love with it. And even now to this day, I still love watching this movie. I know all the songs, get to just see all those little lines that he said that you maybe missed when you were a kid. It's definitely a movie that ages well, and I loved his performance in that. That was my favorite, for sure.
So you were never one of the kids. I mean, talking to people this week about his death, a lot of them were scared of the movie. Were you ever one of those kids?
And
or?
you know what? No. And I know as adults, like maybe look back and realize, man, this guy's Willy Wonka is crazy in this movie. You know, we go through that tunnel scene and you have like the chicken's head getting cut off.
Oh yeah.
And
I just forgot about that.
And I mean,
That's crazy.
All the
children
children being harmed.
children are potentially in danger.
A lot of off-screen deaths in Willy Wonka.
They weren't confirmed deaths.
No, he says they're all okay.
They're all okay.
He goes, fine.
They might be,
fine.
you know, in the pulled by the taffy machine or.
Wait. In the whole movie, he's lying in the whole movie, and we believe him, like when.
Who says he's lying?
Don't forget.
You have nothing
The
to say he was
exploitation.
lying.
Well, if I'm Charlie Bucket, I'm not gonna believe that everyone's dead in my mind.
No, he says they're all fine, and even in the books they're all fine. They just didn't show it.
This guy's got midget slaves. He
They're
could
not
be
slaves.
lying
He
about everything.
saved them. Obviously, you didn't read the
back
book.
to the
He
performance.
saved them.
Back to the
Same way.
But
America
anyways,
saved
back-
savages from Africa. I mean, that's.
That
Back
wow. I think that might get
Jesus.
cut out of the actual.
Are we cutting that out?
No,
Jesus.
you don't edit shit.
That was rough.
Wow. Okay.
Back to
Anyways,
the
back
performance.
to what I was saying. I will actually go against that, and I would say yes. As adults, we watch it and we think of all that stuff, but one of the things that was told after his death by his nephew was that one of the main reasons why they didn't put it out there that he had the disease was that he didn't want parents to stop their kids mid noticing, oh my God, that's Willy Wonka. For their parents to then stop them, be like, oh, you know, let's leave him alone because, you know, he has this disease. They didn't, you know, they just assumed so much about Gene Wilder, and he didn't want to be responsible. It's like a direct quote from his nephew. Like, he didn't want to be responsible for taking a smile away from a child.
Yeah, I think that says a lot.
And I mean,
About
years
him.
later, that these so many kids would still recognize him in restaurants. They were saying when they would go out to restaurants in the last couple years, even now, children would recognize him and go up to him, and for them, it was Willy Wonka. And to me, that's everything that it shows, that this movie, all these years later, that there's still little kids that when they see him, they think there's Willy Wonka, and they smile.
This seems like a dumb I mean, obviously he was proud of the role. I feel like some actors kind of like hate on the fact, like Harrison Ford with like Han Solo or Indiana Jones. They like, oh, I hate being recognized for this amazing role. Like,
It bothers me so much when they do that shit too.
it's really insulting.
Same with Daniel Craig saying you'd rather kill himself than do another Bond movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like it's so
Then
crazy.
do it, pussy.
These guys are playing these amazing characters that, yeah, you know, you're identified as that, but it brings a joy to so many people. I mean, I think that's a really important thing as a performer, and if you can't enjoy that, then, you know, what are you doing the job for?
No,
You know?
he was a class act, Gene Wilder, man.
Yeah. I always can, like, I mean, I've always loved Willy Wonka as well, great movie. But I always loved Blazing Saddles was a great one that me and my cousins from New York would always watch, and that's what we bonded over was, watching this hilarious movie, and then just seeing, we had seen Willy Wonka first, and then seeing this movie, him just playing this similar character, but just with the greatest lines, physical comedy. Gene Wilder was just an incredibly original personality in Hollywood, and great part of my childhood. It's really sad to see him go.
No, I mean, Blazing Saddles through and through has so many different just scenes that people, I'm sure, even now, older people that saw it back in the day probably still go back to like we do with our common movies now. And it's definitely, I mean, it hit on very big topics like racism and Hollywood's view of some romantic time of the West. But, I mean, the beans scene when they're around the fire and they're all just farting away like crazy, I mean, that is hilarious.
Yeah, Gene, he was great.
Young Frankenstein every Halloween for me. So.
Yeah.
Oh, Young Frankenstein.
I love Young Frankenstein.
Garfias, we would love to hear a song from Willy Wonka.
You want me to pull it up on the laptop?
I would love for you to sing.
Oh.
You being a super fan, I would love. How about some Pure Imagination?
I do have pure imagination.
Never mind.
No, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for the lead-in, but we're out of that one. Yeah, I mean, it's sad to see him go, but we definitely got to see amazing work from him, and I guess that's all he would want, is for us to enjoy his movies now and forever.
It's a tremendous legacy.
Should we talk about how 2016's like ticking everyone?
Every legend.
Like, that's crazy. Let's not get too sad, but like...
I mean...
Prince, Bowie, Ali, Fife Dog.
I don't know why you laugh on that one, but okay.
I think because you're rapping.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman,
yeah.
Gosh, another one.
That one broke
Juan
my heart.
Gabriel. Amor eterno. No one else got affected by that?
I mean, I don't really know him as well.
Sad year.
Yes.
Sad.
I don't know if this is just how it ends up being eventually as you get older, when I'm sure our parents thought the same thing at some point, like, oh my god, all these celebrities and people that we grew up with died at, this year, they felt like, and I guess sometimes it just happens.
It's one of those times.
Life.
Life. Oh.
I wonder.
Wow.
Will it take me under?
Well, anyways, going back to the well. A little DC news. Confirmed from Ben Affleck himself, our little costume testing of Deathstroke for the Batman movie. Adam, how do you feel about that? How does it look? How excited are you?
I like the costume. I think it's dope. It's kind of like the TV costume on the CW, but the mask is different, and I really like the mask that they showed or that Ben Affleck showed instead of kind of like the cloth style mask that's in Arrow or the comic book. I think it's going to look better on screen than if they did like a cloth mask. It'll look more terrifying. And Deathstroke really is one of Batman's best physical, intimidating, like terrifying like rogues. I'm really excited to see someone different than Joker or some of the other ones that have been shown on screen.
Yeah.
Do we expect Joker in the next movie? I mean, almost kind of have to, maybe?
I think Deathstroke is a really good enough villain to carry a movie.
Deathstroke is definitely a guy that can carry an entire movie on his own as the main villain. He's in the DC universe, Deathstroke is the equivalent of Batman, but just he works for the villains and he uses guns. There's a point in the comic where he systematically beat like 10 of the Justice League members all on his own. He set off bombs that the Flash would run into them, or that he would stab him when he was running around him, and like he took out Green Arrow because it was he broke his finger and then was using his own willpower to like try to take off the ring. It's nuts. He's a total badass, and I think he can definitely carry a movie on his own. I'm excited like you. It's someone different. Costume wise though, the still of it I didn't really like, and seeing it in motion it looked better, but me and JD were talking about this, how it kind of looks like the
Flash's costume.
Yeah.
The Flash's costume looks almost like
mechanical.
It almost looks like a very light Iron Man armor.
Well, they've talked about the Flash costume. He's supposedly making it out of Wayne Enterprise, like a crashed Wayne Enterprise satellite. So there's a reason why it has that weird metallic style, but they're saying they're going to transition at the end of the Justice League movie to the traditional
A satellite.
Barry Allen.
Makes no sense.
I mean, I guess.
Well, because they have to enter or they have to exit, or enter or whatever. So like the fireproofness. The fire
Oh, I see
retardant.
what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's gonna be the same as like a shuttle material that can, because he has so much friction going against him.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's.
I always thought that
something.
just the Speed Force helped protect him from all that.
I'm pretty sure they're not gonna explain everything with the Speed Force. So
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Just the suit looks remind me of that costume. It looks kind of weird, like again, like too like metallic-y and stuff. The whole point, I guess, of Deathstroke didn't really need like any metal suit or anything. And I'm not against the cloth thing, because look at Deadpool. He had a cloth one, and they did the CGI over the eyes. You wouldn't even have to do that with Deathstroke, because he just has the one eye that's open.
Yeah.
That's always been his.
I mean,
real
I
eye.
still think it would look awesome. I just think that on screen it probably will look better and more intimidating.
I don't
with
know.
The,
I think
the full armor.
I would think it could be intimidating, but also like I do like the mask though.
This all being said, movie hasn't come out yet. I
We
mean,
are
we've
a
seen
long time from Batman.
Maybe like 30 seconds of Flash, like all together, like in his costume.
But
I
this
mean,
is a big deal. This is Affleck directing. We have the one director in Warner Brothers other than Nolan that they will not piss off.
Well, like
They're gonna let him do a lot of his own stuff for
Well,
Batman.
no,
That's why it's exciting.
yeah, I just think I've seen, in terms of like, we've seen costumes, like, you know, and we've criticized them before, and it, like, Quicksilver and X-Men wound up being great, and I know that was criticized, like, early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen other costumes, and I was like, oh, that was okay, like, you know.
I don't think the costume is important here. I think what's important is that we've got our villain for the next
You
Batman.
got, you got a different.
He's a different villain.
You got a different villain,
villain,
that
yes.
can hold his own physically and
And
mentally
against Batman.
besides Bane, but like on more like weapons based and skill based.
Well,
And Ben Affleck, who sees the potential of this and can make a really interesting, fucking cool Batman.
So
What I'm also excited about is the fact what Deathstroke opens up in terms of future storylines, because he's Dick Grayson's main rogue when he becomes Nightwing, and he becomes that because he terrorizes the Teen Titans. So if you have a Teen Titans movie with Deathstroke the Terminator going after him,
Well,
you know what?
They're doing a
I
Teen
would-
Titans movie that's confirmed. So
Is that confirmed? Teen
yeah,
Titans?
they're gonna
That's
do
just
Teen
really far down the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so
I
that
love
would
to
be
see
perfect to set up for Teen Titans.
Do you have Robin in the Teen Titans, or do you have Nightwing? How are you gonna?
Robin, you have to have Robin.
It would be Robin.
Yeah.
Robin and Nightwing?
No,
or-
it'd be Dick Grayson's Robin.
Oh, I
Does-
see.
So
but
you
how does that
tran-
make, how does it
then
make
you
sense?
can transition them.
But then in Batman v that doesn't make sense, because in Batman v Superman, Robin is already dead, and that's assuming Jason Todd. So Nightwing has
It's
already
confirmed
been,
Jason Todd.
Yeah, so then Nightwing is already happened.
Well,
so
we don't know,
maybe
because
then
he
this
didn't-
one, so this
seems-
Robin would
well,
be Tim
It
Drake.
seems like something that they could easily just
switch
you know,
around.
in the movie universe.
Robin,
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly I don't mind either way. I just think if you have a Teen Titans movie, you should start it with Robin, because
Yeah.
Robin's always the leader. of
Now I was
Teen
excited,
Titans.
Right.
thinking I was gonna see Ben Affleck versus Jared Leto, which I guess we still might at some point. But who would you cast, Adam?
Apparently,
as
it's
Deathstroke?
Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello, yeah.
Manganiello, yeah.
Oh wow.
He's
Yeah.
he's in London. He just liked Affleck and Zack Snyder on Twitter. I know that's stupid, but he was in
Talk
London.
about the minor things, huh?
He was in London. The
That should
guy
be
in the
nice.
suit is about the same height. And what's cool about it is that he's a really physically
In-
imposing
Oh yeah,
guy.
he is a big dude. I'm sure. I know you told me about him dancing in that one movie that you really liked.
yeah, that's what I told you.
Yeah.
No, but he's a huge guy, and I think he's a pretty solid actor. And I really like the idea of a really physically imposing villain that's also the same body type as Batman, instead of a Bane type of character who's more
Yeah.
who's like bigger, muscle bound. I want to see like the acrobatic fight that you'll be able to see with Deathstroke and Batman.
Yeah.
It's just a cool new villain.
Katana battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be so cool.
What's cool about it to me is that it's a new villain, and we haven't
And the
seen him in-
possibilities
yeah.
it brings with this new villain.
Endless.
Yeah, because it could be really deep, and hopefully with Ben Affleck, they've never really done this really well in a Batman movie, the detective side of his work. Throw in a mystery that he's trying to solve, of course with action,
I would
but
love
you
that.
take the audience on that journey trying to figure out what's going on, and finally at the end, or they'll have maybe multiple battles, but in the end you realize it's all Deathstroke, and then they have this epic, crazy fucking battle, and everything sets up for Teen Titans. Has a lot of potential.
So then I would say from what you just said, then almost like there wouldn't be too much of an interaction between the two until the last final battle.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of,
I mean, there'll probably be multiple interactions with stuff, but the main motive, I guess, would be.
That's the only thing I would say that
There's
that would detract, which obviously would be cool to see, but then you wouldn't really get to see multiple interactions between the two characters until the end.
There'd have to be a balance, because like even mid saying that, I was thinking, no, that you'd have to have multiple interactions.
Yeah.
But then
because then it almost becomes.
But I mean, I guess the main plan, there'd be a main mystery to solve, and it would be something that would be shocking, I guess, at the end. Just, I don't know, just go more into the detective,
because
if that makes sense.
For example, in the Nolan one with Joker, you didn't see that them come together to the very end, but it was understandable because obviously if it's Joker and Batman in the same room, yeah, Joker has all this stuff, but I mean, Batman's going to win. He's going to take control. There's not much of a fight in terms of physical sense. In terms of a physical sense, there's not much of a battle between the two.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
No, but so that's what I was just saying. So it makes more sense that they didn't come to blows until the very end, and then there you go, he gets caught. But they had all this stuff building up and all the madness he caused.
Exactly.
I would think on this side you would need or want those physical interactions.
I don't think so. Deathstroke is meant to be a Batman, he is super intelligent. Mm-hmm. His endurance, strength, speeds, everything about him is actually better than Batman because it's enhanced. So this guy is a true physical challenge for Batman, but he's also a mental challenge. There's a Batman storyline, and they just did an animated movie, I think in 2013, called Batman and Son, and Deathstroke takes over, like hostile takeover of the League of Shadows. So you have the interaction in the beginning with Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, and Damian Wayne fighting each other, fighting Deathstroke, and Damian Wayne showing that he's a pretty badass successor to his father. And then you have, the interaction between Damian and his father, while you have a backstory of Deathstroke doing something that's going to lead to Batman meeting up with him in the end. And I think you want to see more of a Qui-Gon Jinn 5-minute lightsaber or 5-second lightsaber touch off with Darth Maul, and then the main 13-minute type of battle scene at the end.
Yeah, exactly. But I you're right. But I see Garth's points too. So I guess to reiterate, the main goal or mystery wouldn't be solved until the very end. Even though the villain is seen multiple times, the true goal. So
gotcha.
That's the potential of it all.
All right, next up, we got confirmation of, one of our favorite shows of the summer.
Yes.
Easily was Stranger Things. Season 2 confirmed. Not that there was really much of a question about that, but I know we are very excited about this one.
I'm excited that Netflix made a hype video for it instead of just confirming it like the Hollywood Reporter. I think that shows the importance of the show going forward in Netflix's eyes, which is cool.
They've done that for a few of them. I feel like they've done, I've seen Daredevil and Jessica. They have like a little 30-second thing to kind of tease the.
And it's supposed to be out next year, which I was almost half expecting it to be, I don't know, early 2018.
Yeah.
I think maybe we're used to Game of Thrones and how long it takes for that to get filmed.
Yeah, Stranger Things wasn't really too complicated. Besides, when the Demogorgon would make an appearance and stuff. Otherwise, it was just flashing lights and that little oozy stuff whenever they would emerge from dimensions.
Did we get any word on budget for the season 1?
No, I don't think so. I just heard the only thing I did hear is it's going to be 9 episodes. So it is going to be
one more episode.
One more episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this show. Remind me of those Goonies combined with E.T., but scary E.T.
And a little bit of what else would it be?
There's a lot.
I guess
Well, they
that's a lie.
Well, they confirmed that season 2 is going to take place a year after
Oh man.
The events,
the
at
events
end.
of season 1. And they will be going into the aftermath of
What
those
happened?
events in terms of, and I guess fan favorite Barb, my least favorite character, will be getting some.
Terrible character.
Oh my god.
She's gonna be back.
What's wrong with Barb? She was just in this
Wait, is
Well-
she confirmed to be back?
Well, they confirmed that they will be addressing Barb, since they didn't really address her.
It was
her
she was
death.
just left in the.
Oh, yeah, she
Why?
just kind of was gone.
I hope they
Yeah,
address it by
upside
showing
down.
her rotting corpse.
Oh,
Didn't they already do that in the
Her
show?
rotting
No, they didn't show a
corpse
rotting corpse.
and
Yeah,
those
they show her.
Freaking mom
Well,
jeans of hers. Good lord.
Hey, it was the '80s. What are you gonna do?
Wait, no, but yeah, they showed
There was
her
only one
body.
character who looked like that, and it was Barb. I didn't appreciate the look.
Someone had to represent the genes of the '80s.
Barb actually looks exactly like someone from my college class, and it's really freaky because
I need you to drop a name right now.
She's going down.
I can't.
Do we know her?
I can't. I know it, but I don't want to
okay.
risk anything. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
No, of course not. Of course not.
But thoughts, opinions of what's going to happen? Any predictions?
Oh, we're
Story-wise?
speculating like wild, crazy
I mean,
kids.
spoilers.
Spoilers.
For season 1.
Yeah, seriously.
We had the end. He was coughing up slugs. So we.
Oh,
I think
yes.
he's infected and he's gonna turn into a Demogorgon, and that's why he's able to jump between. When he was looking in the mirror, it flashed in the upside down and then went back. I think he's gonna slowly turn into one, and that's how more Demogorgons are born. They breach through dimensions. They get people.
So
and
you
infect
don't
them.
you don't think those eggs were Demogorgon? Weren't there like some like weird
There's
eggs?
there's got to be. It's like alien. There's probably like a queen Demogorgon that's just spitting out these eggs.
Yeah, that could be a lot of possibilities, man. This can go anywhere. I don't know if this plot hole in terms of like the first episode, he gets taken almost. It seems like he gets, but then he's not eaten. Like, how does he escape? Do they get into? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, kind of like Barb. So that's like assumes that
Why
Barbara.
was he able
Barb-
to
well-
do it, but Barb couldn't?
well, with
Barb
Barb,
sucks so much she summoned the monster.
with Barb, I feel like we
Shotgun
got
over
an instant because it was at the end of one
saw
episode.
the
She
blood.
gets straight up taken into the pool, and then immediately as soon as the next episode starts, she like wakes up, and you see her like fighting. I guess I don't know. So can you
Yeah.
get dragged into the world and then?
Maybe that's what it
Not
does.
necessarily eaten
maybe,
by the
yeah,
monster?
maybe he takes
Yeah.
you there, he gives you a chance, and then that's it.
Eventually, the Demogorgon threw up afterward.
You couldn't keep it down, Barb down after.
Yeah. It's like Arby's. You know, you're gonna have a bad time after you eat.
Now, see, you know what? We're
Too many
gonna disagree again because I like Arby's.
you thought that was the first sure.
No, I'm not.
I don't know why.
Was that Stewart from Daily Show? Wasn't that always the?
Oh yes, yeah, that's true. He did not. Even when he was on Colbert for that short time, he brought up Arby's.
I went to the Arby's off. Was that Sepulveda
In-
right there?
Yes.
Thoughts?
Anyways,
Thoughts
moving on.
I would love to talk about roast
Shut
beef.
up. Shut up.
With the cheddar too? Would you like the cheddar sauce?
Oh my god.
No, see, I didn't like the.
You just like the plain one.
I just plain, and then their signature barbecue sauce.
Oh yes. But anyways,
Shut up. So L, thoughts on L. What do you think?
on who?
L. 11.
Oh, 11.
She likes Eggos as much as I love Arby's.
Stop it, please.
I'd say.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's they said the cast is gonna return. Basically, we can assume everyone that was in the first season will be back except for I guess not Barbara, but Barbara. Everyone's gonna be back pretty much.
Will
The main cast.
they bring back the same composer or whoever made the
Oh,
music?
Survive, that amazing band. Yeah,
I
they're
think
gonna be,
I'm pretty sure they'll be back.
they're gonna be back for sure. I think they said everyone.
Yeah, it is.
Why not? What else? Are they gonna
Everyone
do?
is in for round 2.
Even the Demogorgon.
Shut
Yeah.
up! Shut up!
So it's gonna be the creature, the Demogorgon.
Oh,
I'm
this
ordering some Arby's.
So
on
yeah,
that.
so you can say Arby's, but I can't say Demogorgon.
I don't know.
It's
your
not the
face.
same.
It's your face. I think.
They can't see my face.
I think liking Arby's is worse.
Yeah.
you know, I will say I went on a road trip, and the person we
God.
went on with that road trip said, "Hey, why don't we stop at Arby's?" And I thought, "Wow, someone actually goes to Arby's? What? Like, who says that?"
You almost have to because like when you go to Vegas, you stop at A&W sometimes.
I've
You're
never
the
stopped
only
at A&W.
person.
I've never stopped at A&W. I'll tell you that right now.
In-N-Out, that's it.
In-N-Out and McDonald's, which I know obviously will go with the McDonald's and the In-N-Out, but
I'll do it all.
McDonald's
I
has
try
the
not to
Coke.
discriminate.
McDonald's Coke is the best Coke. That's why I love going to McDonald's.
Their fountain drink. I kind of I understand what you're talking about.
The fountain drink, yes.
It's just not the same anywhere else.
It isn't.
Yeah.
But, I did have Wendy's fries the other day, and I think I like Wendy's fries the best.
Really?
Wendy's
More than
fries
Over
are good.
McDonald's
Yeah.
fries.
What's that?
Over McDonald's fries.
I think
See,
so.
but
They're like McDonald's fries, but they're thicker, so you get more bang for your buck.
Do you like
Okay,
the
you don't
crispy
get
fries?
more
Because I
bang for
really
the
like
buck.
the thin, soggy fries that McDonald's will throw in there. Just
You-
covered
Or
in
like
salt.
In-N-Out. In-N-Out's very
In-N-Out's
thin and soggy.
Yeah,
No,
not
they're
soggy.
thin and crunchy.
They're
No,
thin and crunchy. Yeah,
I-
they're thin and
In-N-Out's are
crunchy.
thin and crunchy.
They're not
Yeah.
crunchy.
Even
What
In-N-Out.
have you asked for?
We should
Well
get In and
done.
Out.
We should get In-N-Out.
And Wendy's too.
Animal style fries.
Wait a minute, that's a feat no
We
man has ever seen.
We get 20 spicy nuggets.
Shut up!
Spicy
Shut
nuggets
up!
from Wendy's.
This is too much power.
You had me at hello.
This is like the Ark of the Covenant. You just don't open power like that.
I think we're gonna do it.
I agree.
Some double doubles, animal style.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
We are doing great today.
I like
yes.
this
This
episode.
is a great
This is
episode.
good.
Oh yes.
I
What's
like
next, Mon Capitan?
Well, let's not get too serious, all right? And let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Oh yeah. No, I have some good opinions.
Let's
on
get
this.
serious about
So,
this.
Don't
just
interrupt.
just to catch everyone up, Colin Kaepernick in a preseason game.
Spoiler alert.
I don't know if that really applies to this one.
Okay.
For the foreseeable future, not just for one preseason game.
Okay,
Spoiler.
It happened for the first time at a preseason game that Colin Kaepernick was sitting down for the national anthem, and when exactly, and this was noticed. And after the game, they asked him about it, and he said he didn't want to support a flag of a country that
We should
tries to-
probably read his exact quote.
Yeah, we can. I
yeah,
can
read
go
his
ahead.
quote because
Now, I don't want to get it political, but if you guys don't agree with him, you guys are racist.
Well, that's coming from the guy who.
yeah. What'd you say before? Play back the tape.
No,
about
I
this-
was.
Play it back in post. Play it back to
obviously,
tape.
I'm sorry. Sarcasm. We should have like a sarcasm button, like right when
Is it how many air horns is that?
at least 4.
No, that's way too many air horns.
That's almost a
Dun, dun, dun,
sarcastic
dun.
amount of air.
Okay, that
So
They're
here's
calling
Colin
it that a
Kaepernick.
gaggle of air horns.
His is direct quote.
direct quote.
I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder.
Now, when he says colored people, does he mean?
Did he say colored people?
Yeah, it
People,
said
yeah.
black and colored people, which
People
to
of
me,
color.
people of color. I'm sorry.
Everyone but white is what I hear.
Yes,
Yes.
that is the NAACP, correct?
That's correct.
I don't know if they've advanced me, but okay.
No, the NAACP is the National Association African or something.
NAACP, National.
But they
Association of
mean
Colored
like,
People.
Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. Sorry. Oops.
Ignorance.
John David, I'll let you start because I know you definitely have.
Well, I have a lot. Obviously, I can get pretty political at times. However, as much as I agree with his reasons behind this protest, I actually think he's maybe being a little selfish in a year where I think this move is a career-based move. And as much as I agree with everything that he's saying and protesting, I think that could this be a way for him to stay relevant in the NFL in a season where people are saying, "Wow, he might not have a future."
Can I just
in
say
this
this?
league."
I'm very uncomfortable about that accusation.
What
Holy
is this
shit.
based on?
Damn, Donald Trump.
This is based off. I don't know. I think it's
Let
been
the man talk.
It's been a
Oh, he is.
It's been a rough year, and I think I don't know. I feel like I was reading articles about how he might not have a role in the Niners or any other NFL
So you're saying his
team.
intentions are not pure?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Possibly
Why- why?
unpure intentions. This has nothing to do with him saying it. I once again I agree with everything he is standing, or should I say sitting for.
Thank you.
But I also think that maybe he's doing this to stay relevant in this league. However, I feel like I was reading a statement from an NFL executive saying he has no place on my team. That traitor, straight up called him a traitor. From an unnamed executive.
I think for him to make this move is not only courageous, but also I think it's sincere. This is one of those moves where the Niners could dump him, and a lot of people would be very happy with the fact that they dumped him just for this.
Could have been dumped a week ago. I mean, does he? For one, it's not a rule in the NFL that you have to stand up. So it's not like he's breaking a rule.
In the NBA, it is actually a rule that you have to stand up for the national anthem.
So if they were to dump him, they couldn't actually technically say it was for this national anthem reason.
All right, but why would
now,
they
if they did fire him, that's what I'm saying.
Cut him.
If they did cut him, fire. It's the same shit. Whatever. Anyways, if they did, it would be a PR nightmare for the Niners. Wow, you cut this
really?
play.
Because I think he's definitely catching more flack than people who are criticizing him for.
And I will
not
say this:
standing up.
this is one thing I have read and I've thought about as well, is that maybe the way he went along with it, not necessarily that he did it the right way or the wrong way, but the conversation has been so much more about how he did it than what he's actually talking about. What his motivations were. I've read, there's been so many articles about the argument of the way he did it and not necessarily talking about the issues that he's trying to put a spotlight on.
Well, and to that I say, I feel like that's just critics of these protests. That's what they do. But even
people who have been positive, who have said, I applaud him for doing this, and then they start talking about because of sitting down and blah blah blah, and they go on about that, and it's not necessarily like, oh, he's talking about this, and then they start talking about what his motivations were, they just continue on that.
It could be argued that no matter how long we talk about the way he goes about it, it's still a jumping off point. And then I could also say that critics always do this all the time with these kind of protests. Black Lives Matter. The first thing they do is criticize the name of it's all lives matter. Well, obviously all lives should matter, but we're saying Black Lives. Like, hey, come on, we matter too. That's what they're kind of saying.
Black Lives Matter too isn't as catchy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It makes. I feel like critics are always going to say something about, wow, I wouldn't have protested that way. The same way that when we look back on another great that passed away this year, Ali, we always think, oh, he's the champ. Oh, wow, political. He stood for something. Back then, he was hated for his shit. In fact, he lost some of the best years of his career because people didn't like what he was saying and what he stood for.
There's still a large segment of our population that whenever Ali was mentioned, would be like, you're a draft dodger. There's still, like, one of the things that this has made me realize is there is, and I'd seen it before, but the racism in this country has gotten so ugly. So ugly. Like, so open, too. Like, people with their face on Twitter, like, not just eggs, calling him the N-word and saying that he hopes he rots in hell, that he's not, that he should shut up or leave. Like, the shit that's going on is really fucked up.
I would like to think that we're not as racist as we were 40, 50 years ago, and I actually believe that. But Twitter has given a voice to everyone, and that includes the racists in this country.
Look at the election right now.
I will say this, that in the 60s, George Wallace, a terrible racist, ran for president and did not win or the nomination. So, like, I think that there is quite a bit still, if maybe not as vocal, but still as prevalent of racism in this country.
Well, yeah, I in terms of going along that line, I've, with Trump, it's almost seems like those people who are too scared to be outright about maybe their racisms, no matter how minor or major they are, but they just know the stigma, like, oh, I don't want to be seen as a racist, even though maybe they are. I heard about why Trump maybe is so popular, is because it almost, people feel better because they're like, oh, it's not just me and, my family or me and my friends that feel this way. Someone who's running for president feels like this too, and it allows them to almost open up or be more expressive about that and say, oh no, I'm not racist, I'm just protecting our borders.
I'm protecting our,
or this or that. So, it's definitely, why.
And to circle back, Trump's biggest tool has been Twitter too. So, I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
I feel like this election, especially Trump's bigotry and demagoguery, have really opened up a lot of wounds.
Did you say the Demogorgon?
Demagoguery.
Oh, I heard Demogorgon too.
We are in the upside down world right now.
This is the upside down.
The fact that Trump is
This is the darkest timeline.
Yes.
That's right. Oh, that's a good community reference. Yeah, we don't have to get too political, it seems like we're all on the same page about this anyway. But
Well, I mean, let's talk about the Rams.
are we excited? I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, LA's got football again. It's really cool. I think that, like, I have a team again in football that I can root for.
That's
naturally.
true. That's your team now, and I know
Yeah.
John David was waiting for a team to come to LA before he chose his team, and now he is back to being a Rams.
Technically, I was a Rams fan when I was a very young kid.
Oh.
I was maybe too young to keep up, but I mean, my dad was a Rams fan, and so I was gonna wind up being.
What year did they leave? Like 91, 92?
92.
92? How old were you then?
My point is,
How old were you?
The same way I
Two.
became a Dodger fan, the same way I became a Laker fan, I was about to be a Rams fan, and when my dad was like, "Oh, we had a team and they're gone," and I said, "I'm gonna not pick a team the way a lot of these other LA natives do. I'll pick the Steelers or Broncos or so and so."
Well, that's what you gotta. I don't know why you have to bring up the Broncos.
That's a
I'm
reference
bringing
to
up-
our host Garfias.
My
He's
point
a
is,
Broncos
I
fan.
said I'm gonna wait until LA gets a team, and I didn't think it was gonna take 20 years, but we finally.
Is
got
that really
it.
what you thought as a kid? I'm gonna wait before I pick a football team.
Yeah, I actually said that. There were. Oh yeah, middle school, man. Everyone had a freaking football team, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm waiting on LA.
It's neat because I haven't really had an attachment to pro football other than fantasy football, my entire adult life, and now I have the opportunity to root for my hometown team, and that's special to me. Like I love being a Dodgers fan. I love being a Lakers fan. Like I'm prideful of those things. Like there's a certain amount of pride and like community that goes along with sports teams where you're from that you don't get if you're just a fan of a team from another area.
Yeah.
Like it was cool when I was in Philadelphia to walk past another Lakers fan and have that like instant, oh cool, you got a Lakers shirt too.
From home.
Yeah, exactly. It was really nice.
I'm obviously biased, but I think the Lakers are one of the greatest franchises. I mean, so I think we have the benefit of living in like an amazing city. The Dodgers, the Rams, playing in the Coliseum, which definitely has its history, and one of the great sports venues of all time. I can't wait, man.
I'm super
It's gonna be
excited.
awesome. Yeah, I've never really been a big watcher of football. Also, like you, there was no LA team.
Well, you did college though.
For college, yes, I was
Really?
a big USC fan.
Oh.
Huge USC.
I guess
football
We
that's-
were a USC.
That's
fan,
a family thing, right?
Yeah.
As well, yeah.
And so, but yeah, again, sense of community, Southern California. It's great being a part of that. I've been a big Laker fan, and it'd be amazing. I'd love to get into football and be able to talk about that and go to these games because football games are great. They're fun.
Tailgate.
Tailgate.
Are they gonna-
yes.
Are they allowing it at the Coliseum?
I don't know about
Probably
the
not at the Coliseum.
I don't think
probably
so.
not the Coliseum, but I think I'm thinking future venue. I drove by Inglewood today, the Forum, and the amount of space they have for this thing is insanely
Well, yeah, because it's a
huge.
mixed use. It's gonna be all
It's going
kinds
to be
of
an
stuff.
entertainment.
I'm really excited because I've been in Philadelphia the last 3 years, so I've gotten to see the football culture there. And I went to a game where we had tailgate, and it was so much fun.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
great.
just such a cool experience to you talk with your friends, have fun with your friends
Barbecue.
before,
and
barbecue,
watch-
drink
and watch
beer.
Football.
Yeah.
And they were concerned that LA maybe wasn't going to
Support the team.
support this team, adopt this team, but for a preseason game, 90,000 people in the
Was
Coliseum.
it really? I did not hear that
90,000.
figure. Wow.
They
It's the
filled
number one-
that motherfucker up, man.
Wow, I did not know that.
Most watched, most attended preseason game in NFL history.
Wow.
First game back, right out the gate.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been watching it, but Hard Knocks with the Rams has been awesome. There are a lot of cool characters on the team. The Jared Goff is an idiot, but he's the lovable idiot.
Yeah.
Our new quarterback. I really care about these players in a way that I have never cared about NFL players before.
You know
Because
why?
one,
Because they're our players.
yeah, there are players. so
it feels good.
Yeah. It's
feel
like,
proud for
I hope I'm really rooting for Goff to become a really good NFL quarterback because I love that we have athletes that are once in a generation, like Kobe Bryant, like Clayton Kershaw. Like we've been lucky enough to be in Los Angeles where we've always had one legend at least. Whether it be Vince Scully, whether it be Kobe Bryant, Clayton Kershaw, Shaquille O'Neal,
Fernando
Fernando Valenzuela, Oral Hershiser.
The list goes on.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're really lucky to be fans of LA, and now that we have a football team, I feel like complete.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It's finally.
Much like the Lakers, kind of like a young core. I
Yeah.
mean, these guys are.
And the best running back in the NFL.
Oh,
Adrian
yes.
Peterson.
Or who?
Other than you said other than.
Oh, other than. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also thought he just said Adrian.
I was like,
what kind of trade did we get? That's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice, man.
It's exciting time to be a football fan in LA again.
What a time to be alive.
Damn.
I miss the Olympics, by the way. I feel like time has passed. You know what I'm saying? My sporting.
I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
good. I mean, it's there. I dive deep, and then it's over, and I let it go.
Kind of dive.
I just let it go.
What kind of dive?
What?
What kind of dive?
Like a swan diver.
Just full dive. That's all I got. It's a full dive. I'm all the way in. So I'm okay. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think just talking about the Coliseum just made me like, it makes me want like the Olympics to come to Los Angeles.
We'll hear soon if LA gets the.
I think we're the favorite. I think we're gonna get the nod. We're gonna have a new football stadium. Just the things that we have.
We're just built. We're ready to go.
Ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
And even me, Mr. Not huge on them, I'd be excited. I'd try and get tickets to an event.
Wow. No, it'll be fun. It'll be good stuff.
Adam, supporting. Amazing. Oh man. What else do you want to talk about?
Do we want to talk about? I don't know if you guys have heard any of the rumors for Nintendo's new system.
Oh,
Is there some updates?
I mean, it's lots of rumors. Lots and lots of rumors.
Talk about it.
The newest thing I heard was that they're going to have a share button, and also that the split D-pad, which will be the first time that they've had a split D-pad on the controller. Mm-hmm. But I mean, saying this negates the fact that we still have very little confirmed information from Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their reason they gave for not showing this off at E3 a couple months ago was basically, we don't want people to steal our idea. Mm-hmm. That's really what they said.
I gotta say, as someone who hasn't had a Nintendo since N64, I'm more excited about this system than I am about anything.
Is that because of the titles that are supposed to be coming out?
Yeah, and
when
the
debuts?
things that we've seen so far with the new Zelda game, it looked so good, and I don't know. There's something I still love playing like Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever, but I really miss, and I didn't realize how much I wanted to play some of the old badass Nintendo games, but on updated graphics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Nintendo really captures the whole nostalgia thing of growing up, and they get the heart and soul of their main core games, and they manage to most of their titles beautifully evolve them as the years go on. So again, they don't come out just every single year. Then it's a Mario game comes out, the main one, and then it's usually years. So it's when the next one comes out, you're hyped for it, and when it's Battlefield, Call of Duty, these things, they pump the shit out of these things, and the little changes minor than the location and timeline, and it's not as warm, or it's not as fun to go back to. You know.
I remember Mario 64. I got at least a year and a half to 2 years of playing that game, at least once a day.
Yeah, you beat the game, and then you try to get all the
stars.
And what was great with those single player games, again, even before internet, was the whole social aspect. I remember I would love going over to his house and watch him and his brother play Mario 64, or even further back Super Mario World, just because it was we're all going on this adventure just watching it, and the music. And then just the fact that they're good quality games. It's Nintendo.
I also really like that their games weren't so reliant on internet, wireless and internet to reach out to your friends and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends came to your house and you played GoldenEye together, or Mario Kart, or Diddy Kong Racing, or whatever. These games were, it was kind of like a community meeting of you and your best friends or your cousins or whatever. I remember Saturday mornings watching cartoons and playing N64 with my cousins, and it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Well, I'll say this, just like the last system and every other system, it's always about games. What's out? It's not just the system, it's the games.
Well,
so really and I've heard a lot of people, it's always Zelda, Metroid. I mean, those are some of the games that when they're out on the system, people will buy something because.
I will buy it. I'm not a big video game guy except for the party games that we play at our house, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. I will get this for a new Metroid game if it's done in the style of Metroid Prime.
And
Metroid.
what was the last time we saw a true Metroid game?
Metroid Prime,
especially in like this modern era, in terms of when like with HD graphics.
Well,
and
they came out with this new handheld one. Metroid
see,
Prime,
that's what I'm saying. True Metroid game. A true Metroid.
The last one they did on like
I know what you mean.
And the last one they did on the
true.
console, it was like more of a third person kind of version. I wasn't into it. Dude, stick with like the first person kind of shooter, like Metroid. Like that's their that's their Halo, man. And it's such a great, cool property.
Well, you know, I mean, again, it flourished on the whole side scroller thing back in the day. The original Metroid and Super Metroid.
Super Metroid's my favorite. One of my favorite
Metroid
games.
Prime is basically, if you think about it, is just a 3D version of Super Metroid. It's probably the great thing about the whole thing with Metroid was that the isolation, you're really alone on this thing, but you're in this badass fucking suit taking on aliens, but you really felt that whole isolation thing. I remember, like, one of my greatest memories, I think, playing Metroid Prime, fucking terrifying too, was when you go to the ruins, and then you have to re-explore to get more weapons, but also when you go back there, like the Chozo ghosts, like, rise from the ash and the whole room turns black. I couldn't play the game for like 3 months because I was terrified. I was like, it scared the shit out of me. But anyway, back to the Nexus. Nintendo knows that they have to make quality games that capture all these different feels of adventure and isolation and fun. And I feel like the Wii, they kind of lost that because they were going for more just like, because it came out, they were going for really like crazy party games.
I just didn't think the quality of games was that strong.
It wasn't. It was going for, and because of that, with the Wii U, they really started going back to, we got to go for our main core audience that loves all of our past games. So, I mean, regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, even the GameCube, even though it isn't that successful, a lot of games were
successful.
It wasn't, but their core games were still very, like their first party games were still very good quality. And I feel like
I would love a new Donkey Kong game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Well, they have Donkey Kong Country. You ever play Returns? Donkey Kong Country Returns is amazing. It's perfect.
I don't have a Wii U.
And I think,
love it.
Part of it too is the third-party support. They had none for the Wii U.
And that's because of the whole graphical situation.
And I mean,
here's what I trip out on. Who's making those decisions at Nintendo? Because here, PlayStation and Xbox, I mean, obviously they have the Call of Duties and their graphics are great, really top notch. But why can't Nintendo do that? If Nintendo actually stepped up their graphics, is there something technically?
I don't know.
No, I mean,
really,
because if they wanted, they could have the Call of Duties, the Grand Theft Autos, and something that PlayStation or Xbox wouldn't have, which is all these name brand Mario, Zelda, Metroid. I mean, they could really be the
But
top
that's
dog,
always been the argument.
What's funny too is that those games are in demand. I mean, PS3. Had pretty good graphics for the time, and one of their biggest sellers, one of their last big sellers was Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and that was a very cartoony, like retro graphic style that they used, and it worked. It was awesome. It was so much fun, and I think that there is that demand for graphics that aren't great, but at least comparable,
And I mean, that's something I think they've chosen to go against almost. Like, I mean, you look at the last couple systems.
No, I agree. I think it's strange. I feel like they not only could they still do their fun games like Mario and Zelda, Smash Brothers, and not only make the graphics even better, but they would still hold up to their core values. And also, to me, I'm with JD. I don't understand why they can literally be like decimating the fucking video game market.
Especially, not just graphics. Online support.
Online
it took them
support.
forever, and even the Wii U, their online, interface is strange.
Even still, like with Smash Brothers, it could have had so much. But like right now, it's much better than the previous game, but it still has its issues. It could be so much better.
And I'll say this: I mean, a lot of times they choose those other in terms of not being the top line graphics and everything a lot for price because they don't want the system to be too expensive. But even if they used what would be considered old technology now, it would still be amazing graphics. I mean, even if you use chips that are 3 years old instead of brand new chips that are just coming out, it would still be quality HD.
But what's the?
No,
but why?
I know why. It may have to do with keeping the price.
That's what I'm
saying that. But what's the real what's the price difference between a Wii U and a
It's not that different.
I
I was gonna say
It's
it's not
It's
that
like
much,
$200.
especially because some of these fucking families are buying multiple systems, and I know that. I've seen them buy a PlayStation and an Xbox, and they go not Nintendo
Which are
because
very,
it's not up
very
to
overlapping systems.
And you know,
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
buy a Nintendo if it had. They have the games, like they're getting good games, but the just graphics aren't the same.
No.
But like if they had a graphics system that was able to do the Call of Duty game, Battlefield, whatnot, the same way that PS4 and Xbox do, I would buy it over PS4 and Xbox because of their games.
Yeah,
But
they have the
because
properties.
I'm I don't have the money for two systems. I'm not gonna buy a Wii U when I can buy a PS4
and you gravitate to Xbox and PS4 because of the graphics and
just the
wider
the,
games.
the library
Yeah,
again
the
comes back
the
to the
library.
library, which is the third-party support, which Nintendo does not have by any means.
That's what kills them.
and
Besides,
it's not as if they don't
Yeah.
want to make for Nintendo.
And I
just
don't
graphics
know
aren't
if
there.
that's yes. Hopefully, because it's been years since they've had a Metro game that would come out. We already know Zelda's gonna be coming out, so people are gonna rush to that. But are they gonna be able to get that third-party support to have not just Call of Duty and those games, but
It's a
other
bit-
type of games that other people like besides Nintendo wouldn't normally do? So you get other people to buy that system.
You get people not just waiting for the next main core game to come out, which is what, at least for
And-
us, is happening. There's no in between.
Nintendo can only make so many games.
Exactly.
They're only
Yeah.
one
It's-
game company.
If they did this, they're number one.
Mhm.
Automatically,
Yeah.
they're number one because it's gonna make guys like me who don't play that many games. I'll buy a freaking system so
If
I
that-
can play Call of
Star
Duty
Wars
and
Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront, which we
Such a
Grand
terrible
Theft
game.
Auto, and because I want to play Metroid and Smash
Graphic
Brothers.
wise, but yeah.
What you done? Which one?
Oh no, because he actually doesn't like Star Wars Battlefront.
The new one. The old ones are amazing.
No, but it's just
No,
that,
but even
that
the-
it gives you the
even- well,
option.
even the
You have
More
more
option,
options,
yeah,
like when it
even the
came out, the
option.
shit that was like, oh my god, we love Star Wars. Like it looks so
Exactly.
great, but
Like
I can't get it because we only have Wii U.
And I don't necessarily need a gimmicky second screen. Thing
Which,
that
I mean,
Nintendo
if
is,
you've
like,
heard
Is that what it
rumors-
is? It's basically
Well-
it's like a dock that you can transfer. It's a portable system.
It is like almost, from what the rumors, a kind of a hybrid system.
Nintendo's great at giving us things that we really aren't asking for.
But you know what? That's part of the reason, like I said,
They're trying to innovate.
they feel like whatever it is that they're gonna come out with is so special that they don't want to show it until literally the last couple months before it comes out.
I feel like unlike Apple, that makes you get used to things that you don't, or that you didn't know you needed, or you didn't realize you didn't need. They're putting stuff that no one cares about. Like I don't need.
They tried the
I would
motion,
rather
no
not
one liked
play.
it.
With a controller that's the size of an old Sega, like a Sega, the handheld Sega game. You know
Game
what I
Gear.
mean? Game Gear, yeah.
That's true.
I want to play with a small, nice controller that works the same way that the Xbox controller works.
Some
You
heavy
think
game.
it could be some sort of maybe Oculus Rift
No.
almost thing where you can
God, I
take
hope
the
not.
screen and
They
make
said
it and
they said
make
they're
it?
not going to go the VR route.
No,
Is that what they said?
I have heard nothing of that sort. I feel like that is not necessarily what they're going towards at all.
Mhm.
The rumors are really it's some kind of hybrid system
But hell, I would
that you
love-
can play it on the go.
But I would love
but
a
you-
system that's capable of VR support if in 2 years
I think
they
that's
want to
a-
go that
I-
route.
I think that's a huge people like with Oculus Rift when that comes. Is that officially out?
Oh, yeah,
or-
it's been out. It's been out.
Yeah. So
Sony's comes out later this year. Their VR system comes out later this
Mhm.
year.
I don't know.
And even that's becoming, it's still
Mhm.
early days, it's early adopters that are getting it, but the options, there's
yeah.
the HTC, there's the Oculus, there's Samsung, there's the Sony one. It's
think-
going to be a good big market, and a lot of those
They're-
games are able to be used over those multiple platforms.
They're saying that VR is going to be essentially useless for a few years. Like the idea of buying a VR unit, they're just not everyone is going to go out and spend $800 on a VR.
That's it,
Yeah.
just for the headset.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
just for the
because
headset and everything.
for the Oculus, you need a computer that can run the
Oh,
system. That's why the
yeah.
PlayStation 1 it's different because, yeah, you buy the accessory, but if you already have the system, then it's not another expense you have to do besides the gear.
But because it's because of that, the game studios aren't making VR games, so you're just going to get a bunch of ports.
I don't know, but
You're going to be able to look around, but it's not really a VR game. It's not designed to.
and
take
there's
advantage
going to be a
VR.
lot of those that, like you said, just look around where people are like, well, let's just put our toe in the water and see. But I've seen some games that they really are going all in. Like this is made exclusively for VR. I know they came out with the Batman one. I heard was not good.
Could you imagine a game like Pokemon Go with
Oh my
VR?
God. How
Where
much
you
is
can
it?
walk around and there's like cartoon monsters.
How
like,
much is
you
it
know.
for like the thing that you stand on that like it's?
Oh, those are
long?
see
are
that's
expensive.
that's gonna be something that's gonna be at like
The
a
treadmills.
that's gonna be used
Yeah.
at like maybe Dave and Buster's or something like that. It's
Oh,
or
that'd be
ultra.
nuts. Well, could
high
you imagine the
electric.
possibility of that? Like, say you go into Dave and Buster's, there's 4 panels, and you and 4 friends can link up and go into a game and fucking shoot other creatures and
could
stuff.
you
That would be
imagine
so fucking
That
cool.
would be something.
Porn in VR would
That's
be...
already a thing.
Yeah, that's a
Group
huge
porn?
thing.
How is it?
Not
What'd you say?
What are you all thinking?
You could buy Google Glass or Google goggles right now.
Google Cardboard, yeah.
Cardboard, yeah,
Cardboard.
and look at porn.
There's
Search around
I've
porn.
already seen articles that it's of course porn's always.
Is that all you've seen?
I've seen the porn.
Oh, you've seen the porn? I know I haven't.
It's not good so far.
I've seen it.
I mean, it's.
Nothing
I would
before?
assume it's very like.
None of the big actresses or the good actresses are doing
Yeah,
it.
and that I would assume it's kind of just like you said. They're gonna just try it out by having to look around and see. You can just look around. Oh, look, now I can look around. Like it's not gonna be a lot to start with, I'm sure. And then as
Especially
they.
with the lack of smell-o-vision, like it's not. I feel like it's not the full experience that we've been like asking for.
What have you been asking for?
I
I've been
literally,
asking for some smells, baby. Like,
Oh,
I-
no.
I-
I don't want this.
Scratch and sniff is coming your way. Is that what you're looking for?
He
Maybe
wants
like,
smell-o-vision.
maybe like a.
Oyster Bay.
I don't know. You put Tabasco on that one too?
Oh
Do you?
my God,
Like groceries.
that's hot.
Horrible.
Literally Tabasco. Doesn't matter.
You can always just
no.
hold a fish fillet under your face.
Are we gonna talk about that McDonald's video?
McDonald's.
Oh my
video.
God.
Oh, the dude fucked the McChicken? Oh my god.
Oh,
Terrible.
Now
I heard about this, but I did not see it.
we heard we
Dicks out for Harambe.
We watched it.
We got together after a few drinks the other night, and we were like, "Oh, let's watch this dude's fucks McChicken." I was expecting something a little more funnier, a little more production value.
Just
I'm
the
thinking,
guy jerking his dick off with a
and
chicken.
yeah, it was his own person. It was a POV.
Yeah,
I,
it was weird.
It's all,
So-
it was
and
really
we watched
weird.
it way too long. Like we definitely
like it wasn't.
It was
You went past curiosity, and it was just straight
it was
up.
17 seconds, but it was on loop, and we didn't know it, and so it just kept going. And we're like, how long does he fucking do this for?
Oh,
He's
you guys are so dumb.
I'm just saying. I mean, I just read the button.
I don't want to. I don't need a visualization. Thank
No,
you.
no.
The mayonnaise flying off was the worst part.
That wasn't mayonnaise.
Did he?
What?
He didn't nut in the video, did he?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I was
that
just,
was-
Oh, okay.
I was just going along with it.
I wasn't gonna question
I thought
either
it was
way.
funny.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, we paused for laughter for the audience, the podcast audience. Should we take some calls?
Let's do it.
Go ahead. All right, let me see who we have on line 1.
Hi, JD.
Hello, caller. You're on with Geek Down.
When I wipe, it bleeds.
This is a tricky one. You're actually gonna want to wipe harder. No, gross.
Wipe through the blood.
Wipe through the blood. Next caller.
Let's see who we have on line 2. We have Janice.
Janice, you're on the Geek Down.
Hey, God,
Yes. How are you tonight?
what you doing after the podcast?
Oh wow, this
I don't know,
has
it's-
turned into a love line.
I love Love Line. Let me say 1 and 2. Probably going to sleep. I don't know. Do you have something else better?
Oh, something much better.
What is that?
Oh, you'll find out. Ever heard of Big Stick Popsicles?
Why would you bring up Big Stick Popsicles?
Come and see.
Oh.
Caller, have you ever slid down a banister?
Who am I talking to?
This is JD, John David.
John David. Say it slower.
I'm tired of this call.
All right,
Oh,
let's
God,
go to the next one.
What?
All right, that's enough calls for tonight.
That was good. That was a nice segment.
It was interesting.
We should call Lucas.
We
We should get a joke.
should get this out. This is really stupid.
No, we should not cut anything out. This should always be uncensored.
We have to get our good friend Brian Melblom on the podcast. He's so ridiculous.
He is a funny guy.
he has his own podcast. I know another commercial.
You know-
3 Bs in a pod.
Is that what it's called?
It's called 3 Bs. It's Brian, Brandon, and I forget what the other B is. But it's the third guy that he calls in from like Colorado. I
It's
think.
too bad all our names aren't D. 4 Ds in the pod.
4 Ds, baby. Middle name's Alexander. Oh, that's too bad.
There's no.
We have three out of 4 Ds.
Who's the other D?
I mean, I threw out 3 Ds of your David.
What are we talking
David,
about?
Dean,
Oh yes,
We
Dean
take-
Dean.
Bobby Dean. Dean.
4 Ds.
So SAG's cool with this, right? This is an interview. I don't think this counts as an acting gig.
We're not paying you.
Yeah, this.
Exactly. There's.
Jesus.
The wonderful contributions of Robert Dean.
Yeah,
Avila.
thanks for that, buddy.
What? What do you want? What do you want from me? Just.
A joke, entertainment.
Dance
Give
for
us-
us, Mom.
give us
Dance.
something.
The viewers can't see the dance.
No, but they can hear our reactions, and that's gold.
And they feel it.
The viewers also couldn't see all the girls' tits on Howard Stern, but
That's a good point.
That's wow, he got you there.
Unless you're watching it on cable.
Yeah.
That's on E. Yeah.
Remember
I
back.
used to
Oh,
watch it on
dude, I felt like I was doing something very wrong.
This
I
is
usually
old school
was
days.
doing something very
Oh, that's.
My God.
Milk and the Snake.
This is like a pre-internet era, man.
Oh,
No
it was.
backstory of that.
It was definitely. I mean, whew, that was heat for late night back then.
Do we still listen to Howard Stern? Anyone here?
I
I
am
Yeah.
don't have XM radio.
Yeah, it's just not that interesting. I sometimes
I would listen if it was on the radio.
I YouTube some of his interviews. I actually think he's an underrated interview.
No, I've
I think he's
heard
one of
that.
the
I've heard he
best.
does great
I-
interviews.
I think he's properly rated. Everyone considers him a really good.
I think
interviewer.
he's the best. I think he's
The best
I think
don't know about
he's. Who else would you think?
or what?
Who would you say?
that. Larry King.
Well, who's your number 2
Larry
then?
King's your.
So wait, who does he beat out? Exactly.
He's the best.
All the people you
Exactly.
know.
Exactly.
Everyone he
Watching
beats
Charlie Rose a lot
He
lately.
beats Larry King.
Larry King.
I think I'm used to. I don't know why I forgot, but some of the late night guys. You know what I'm saying?
Are those
Conan's
really?
a pretty good interview, actually.
Conan's great. Conan's,
Yeah.
Conan's my personal favorite.
Yeah, but see,
In terms of getting like real information and like kind of talking about their lives, Conan is funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy will make you look good.
Actually, you know
Fallon
what
will.
my favorite is? Jon Stewart.
Oh man,
Jon Stewart was a great interview.
Yeah, he was.
yeah, he's pretty good.
Joe Rogan too. Plug us.
I like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is good.
I love Joe Rogan.
No, you're right.
you always want to hear his interview than see it because you just get distracted by him like always moving and ticking and scratching and just
Looking like a troll.
yeah. I can't watch an interview with him. I can hear one. It's fine. I'll listen.
No one wants to watch Joe Rogan.
It's
I watch Joe Rogan.
Oh man, I thought this podcast was a little more fun, a little more
A
free.
little more relaxed.
I mean, we didn't have a big topic this week, so that changes it up. We've been last week. I think we had very much on just a couple topics.
Jesus. You just
It's
laughed
all different.
during Gene Wilder, and now you're saying he isn't a big topic.
What, Gene Wilder to bring happiness to you?
I didn't smile when he died, you
I didn't-
heartless fuck.
Wow.
I had that racist joke, which was
Yeah.
definitely the low point.
I must say, Adam has been very tame today.
Have I?
No C words, no. You could drop one real quick.
I don't want to force
No,
it.
it's not. See,
I forced Jeff Van Gundy last week, and now
There it is.
I'm-
There it is.
you forced
I
it
regret
again.
it.
There it is. Nice. Way to go.
I knew it was gonna be that. I saw it coming. Good setup, John David.
Oh, well, you know.
I hope you're proud.
I just saw that trailer for La La Land. I like that. Is anyone else excited?
So
for
it's a
that?
musical.
It is a musical.
From the director of Whiplash, just
Interesting.
with way more money, and with
Interesting. I mean,
Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
yeah, seems very Moulin Rouge-esque in the way that it's all the shots are. If anyone has seen that movie.
I like Mulan. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
It's alright.
Oh no!
It's
Just
kinda
just-
tough to-
just the
I
not
didn't take that from the trailer.
No,
That's what
not a
you
lot
got.
of wide shots, a lot of long shots.
It's
very
definitely
fanciful.
from the trailer. Looks like a very visually striking movie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Okay.
you can definitely take that from the trailer. That's for sure.
Well, speaking of Moulin Rouge, though, the other musical, The Get Down on Netflix. Have we watched any of
Yeah.
that?
Is it a musical?
Isn't it a musical?
Kinda, it kinda is. It's from what I've seen. I've only seen one episode.
Oh,
but,
so we're really into this one.
but it's good. It's good.
You know what we should talk about? Tiana Taylor in that Kanye West video.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah. Did you watch?
damn.
Did you watch the whole VMAs?
Absolutely. Oh, I didn't watch the whole VMAs. I watched the whole Kanye West video though.
Well, let me say this. Can we ask 2 questions? So you said Tiana Taylor, but then the video itself just being a video.
Dope video.
I don't know about that.
It made me like the song more. I'm not the biggest fan of that particular
Song.
track off of The Life of Pablo, but I think her dancing. It's not.
It's
that,
2 separate things. To talk about her dancing and talk about it as a video for this song.
Well, the visuals
I
of
don't know.
dance. I mean, one, she's sexy. We can talk about that. But
Well,
on
I
the
mean,
technical
that's-
level with some of the dancing,
Bill.
it's pretty great. It's
Well,
great.
yeah,
It's
I'm
great.
not
I
arguing
like
that at
seeing
any
an old
means.
School, like dancing music video. And
Oh yeah, it definitely takes it back.
And then which
Iman
athlete?
Shumpert.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
that was hilarious.
There was a moment where like, is that him?
That was my
Yep.
favorite part, especially because he has that hair, and there you go. That's
I am
all.
upset that I missed Brit. I probably will end up watching the VMAs.
Oh, I heard it was horrible.
Well,
Was it?
Well, Rihanna performed 3 times, and they were pretty
And
decent.
then-
No,
she
really.
didn't kiss Drake, which was amazing.
Yeah, for the millionth time, he like professed his love for her, and for the millionth time, she shut him down.
I don't know. He seems to profess his love for a lot of women, though. So
I think he's.
That
a
just
corn-
turned him down.
He's a huge cornball.
I mean, Nicki Minaj, didn't they have that?
well, that's what I'm saying. He always says
I
like,
think he's fucked Nicki Minaj.
I think so. He's
Pope shit in the woods.
He's definitely eating the booty like groceries.
You think so?
I think so.
Wow, I don't think so.
I mean,
agree with
according
you,
to
Bob.
their last song
I
together,
agree with you.
he,
You agree? You think
Yeah, for sure. For sure, he's tongue punched her fart box.
that was fantastic.
I was trying to keep that one
She
in,
shoved
but
a green worm up her tingle.
what?
There's best believe there were air horns playing right now. Just moments ago, I will be editing those in.
You need to have the button ready so you could do it.
It's a very the setup's very basic. We'll get there though. This is episode 4. Be alright.
Yeah, that's true. It is. Is it only episode 4?
5.
I think
Oh, no.
our 5th was our first
69.
one was like a test.
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't post the first one. I like
No,
the
you
first
didn't.
one.
No, we didn't post it.
You just don't listen to the show, do you?
I do. I listen to it on SoundCloud.
How are we on time? Is that what Bob is saying? You can just speak, Bob. It's relaxed. Who cares?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to make it.
Just
so
make
it's
him.
easy-
You'll just
easier-
make him work a little bit more.
easier to edit. That's
Who cares?
I'm thinking from your
This
perspective, man.
The fans want from our.
I don't
two-
think we should
our-
be editing anything.
That's what I'm saying. Our 2 fans love this shit. It's nice and clean and sloppy, and it's real, man.
Mad real.
Provocative.
I like the video. You like the video?
I did. Very much.
I mean, overall, as a music video, I don't think it's anything to be like, wow, that's a great video.
All right.
But the dancing is amazing. She obviously is amazing.
Kanye got us to watch a music video on MTV for the first time in probably years.
I
when was the
mean-
last time you saw?
Okay, I mean, it's during the middle of a award show that we were watching. It's not like we tuned in specifically because we know he was going to do a music video. We didn't know what he was going to do.
You know what's sad? The VMAs used to be a bigger deal for me than the Grammys, and now they've completely lost a lot of their
Well, I will say this, though.
cred.
It seems like music videos have actually kind of come back up in general. Not necessarily, obviously, on MTV, but in general, because if you think about it...
YouTube.
What's that?
Vivo and YouTube.
Exactly, because when music started going on the internet and you had, Apple iTunes, you had like LimeWire and Napster and all these things, you were just concerned about downloading a song and that's it. Because you're like, oh my god, I have all this music that's available to me now that I can take with me anywhere. And that's really when the music video, and especially music video on MTV, dropped off because people didn't need to tune into the TV to watch the videos. And then as time's gone on and so many people go to YouTube to see and hear music, the music video has become so much more important again. And we hear about, oh my god, did you see the new Kanye video for Famous? Did you see the people talk about the Taylor Swift one? They talk about this, and it's...
Music videos are back, but is the show back?
They're back.
Is the award show even relevant?
I mean, that's more of a thing, I think, more on MTV. And, I mean, obviously the content that they're using for the awards is important to people because there's arguments about them, and Kanye gets upset, even though he gets upset at a lot of things, that one video won and not the one he thought should have. So, I mean, I think the video's important. I just don't think any one award show is almost as important nowadays. Like, there's so many award shows now.
I do think the Grammys are still... I think Grammys are top dog.
Grammys, Oscars, and Emmys are still a big deal. But
But even Emmys, the
Tone
viewership's been down.
And with the Emmys, you know what? I more so than any other thing, I feel like no one could watch all these fucking shows. No one has the time, and no one's judging these shows properly. There's no freaking way.
I mean, think
well,
about
only
it.
judge them by one episode.
Oh, that's a good point too. Oh God, how could you do it? It's the worst. It's the worst way to do it, in terms of judging from.
I just
And it's
think
not always,
because
like, the
TV is currently like in the middle or the end of a peak of like a golden age of television.
I still think we're in it. I mean,
I think
with
we're coming out of it.
this
for
last
sure.
season of Game of Thrones, the fact that Stranger Things was kick-ass. Well, actually, I can't name any of the show right now. You might be right.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Fuck.
and it's, in just the last 5 years, time is the way we watch TV and the way we consume it has just changed so much that there's so many different possibilities, so many different shows now. It's kind of hard to really boil it down and to have so many people watching one show that just doesn't happen as much anymore.
I hate award shows anyway. These award shows are flawed from the beginning.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
fact that
the last
certain-
Oscars were fucking bullshit.
See, there you go.
Well, the fact that Creed's not nominated for Best Picture, or Michael B. Jordan for, Best Actor, when I definitely saw the behind-the-scenes footage. That motherfucker took a few punches directly to the face, man.
Yep.
Good lord.
Creed was great. Speaking of movies and everything, another article that we came across was Will Smith was talking about the movie business and had mentioned that because of reviewers and the way the internet works now, it's harder to make or get away with making a bad movie because of that. So now instead... What am I going on? You guys are all making faces at me and laughing before I even get to the point of this.
Yeah.
Do you want to go ahead and continue? We didn't stop
Anyway,
you. We didn't
basically
stop
he
you.
was going on about... He's talking about how he went into the movie business trying to be the biggest blockbuster actor rather than quality actor, and because of the internet and how it's changed everything, whereas you can make a bad movie and 2 weeks later you would find out about the movie, but by then it's already made his money. But now, as soon as you go into a movie, it's bad, you're going to feel people tweeting about it
Thank
almost
God.
instantaneously, which is great.
That's for the better.
Because now all these shitty movies that have been coming out there are just remakes, just not unoriginal ideas because these studios are trying to play it safe, or just throwing out these franchises where they throw in characters that people want to see on screen but don't necessarily flesh them out in interesting ways just to make a quick buck. Now, hopefully it's like survival of the fittest type thing now with Hollywood. In order to keep that longevity of fans, you really now have to make good quality movies.
See, I'm going to be the pessimist on that one and say, yes, I do understand that, but I don't really think that it's changed them all too much. Yes, like if a movie doesn't do well, like especially if it's something that's supposed to be a franchise, and if the movie does bad enough where it kind of changes their plans, I don't really see it though going like, oh, you know what, this movie didn't do well that we did for this brand, but now we're going to do this one, this tentpole, and we're going to try to do this franchise. I don't really think it stops them from doing that. I mean, has it changed WB much, or Warner Brothers with the DC universe? Like, oh, these 2 movies didn't go up to expectations, now we're going to not do these other movies? No. Disney's had
people are still showing up.
Yeah,
If no one
Disney's
showed
had
up-
some issues with the second, the Alice Through the Looking Glass. I mean, the fact that the first one did as well, I think, was more a surprise to everybody.
Garbage.
That they were like, oh, okay, I guess we can do a second one. That one I almost feel like they were like, oh wow, we can do a second one now because that one did so well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had one with what was the one with Johnny Depp and Armie Hammer?
Oh, Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger. That one did really bad. But I don't think it really changed much what was going to happen for them. And I don't think they then go, oh, I don't know if we should do this next tentpole movie because we had such a bad issue with one of those other movies. I think they're still going to continue making those movies. It's not going to change them much.
Something similar or related. We've talked about how Rotten Tomatoes is not a very reliable organization, and how
I don't remember talking about
their bad rating system. And,
It's
I
not-
just
not
learned
too
some
far
shit
from-
about Rotten Tomatoes. They don't use the same number of reviewers for each movie and they don't use the same reviewers for each movie.
Well, I mean, part of it is
Adam,
just.
that is some.
We've moved on from
bullshit.
Batman v Superman. It's,
Bullshit.
Yeah, see,
We've
but that's
moved
the
on.
amount of reviews that come out for a movie. That's not something that they control.
No, like they if they have 100 reviewers that review the movie nationwide, they will only pick a certain number, and they won't pick the same ones each time.
Maybe, I mean,
You know, technically, Adam, with this podcast, you're a reviewer now. You're a critic.
It's true.
You're part
And
of the
you're-
problem.
you're quite a biased critic, I must say.
My God.
Only about one thing.
You know that Disney's gonna be knocking at your door.
Better throw me
Try
some
to
money,
buy-
Disney.
Would you compromise your values for a Disney dollar?
Every day and twice on Sunday.
There it is.
There you go. We are close to Burbank, so
That's right.
Show me the money.
Soon.
Thank
This
you.
This podcast is gonna blow.
it's gonna blow. It's gonna blow. Well, I don't
It
think.
starts with 2, and then it
This
grows.
podcast is gonna milk the snake.
Oh man! Tell the viewers what you put in my freezer today. Good lord.
Some ratatas.
Rattatas
Wow.
for your boa constrictor.
Are you still playing that
Ball
Pokemon
python.
Go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less.
I mean, yeah, less, yeah,
I
but.
completely dropped
Well,
out.
I mean, you didn't even go.
I told you.
There
You
just
made-
isn't anything nearby.
Your
Like,
first
I don't
mistake
wanna
was
drive
picking
the-
Team Valor, and so I think that's why you probably quit
Yeah.
earlier.
Listen,
Just
listen.
you guys are just quitters.
What you all both don't know is that Articuno is weak to Moltres because of its typing. Ergo, Team Valor is the superior team due to Pokemon.
Pretty sure
science.
Adolf Hitler was Team Valor.
Oh, definitely.
Just saying.
No,
Just saying.
the team didn't exist.
Just saying.
No.
Pretty sure he made the same.
Anyways,
argument about
there are
Moltres.
going to be some updates looking like soon that'll finally bring in some.
They're bringing trading.
Wanted features.
I'm out.
Battling.
I'm already out. Man,
Indicted.
I'm already out.
I'll come back. I'll
Tell me,
come back if they
when
bring in trading.
when Pokemon Go 2 comes out, when it's a completely like they revamp everything, because I'm not
If they,
impressed.
if they make
The
it like
nostalgia washed
Yeah.
away, and it revealed a very mediocre game.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, give me a freaking break. We wouldn't get if it was any other take Pokemon the name out of it, and we wouldn't have stuck around this long.
I mean, that's for a lot of things I think that we have nostalgia for, so. You know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If they do bring some more features, and then who knows, maybe you'll jump back on board.
If Pokemon Go was from the people that brought you Clash Royale, I mean, would we have been playing it like a week into it, 2 weeks into it? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of people that play
Maybe
those
so.
games. I mean, there's a reason why
But
they're as
with
big
all
as they are.
But with all those server issues and the glitches is what I'm trying to say. The game is flawed and,
I mean, they haven't had server issues or glitches since the 3rd week. They've been good about that, but it is an incomplete game.
Yeah.
The fact that someone like one of us would have to go to Santa Monica in order to get good Pokemon kind of blows.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's kind of the point, though.
that is the point of the game, to move around. But the fact
Not
that
everyone
if
has
you,
the ability to move
but-
around.
Yeah, but that's.
well,
I mean,
at least
not everyone has the ability. It's a free game, though. So
yeah,
I mean,
you could walk around your neighborhood and you can get. But in terms of you have to go to Santa Monica if you want like a Squirtle or.
You want a
something.
fucking Dragonite or
if you're gonna do
anything.
region-specific things, keep it consistent. Make it so that in this region you can only get this one, but don't make it so. But only in that region, don't throw in a bunch of Rattatas and stuff, so that not only can you get that and that rare one, but then in the areas where we live, where we'll only get Rattatas and then maybe a Growlithe. It's who gives a shit about that? I want a fucking Sea Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also the balance of the common versus the rare. Like, how much do you want it to be? Like, oh my god, I just got,
But you shouldn't
whatever
have to
Pokemon.
You shouldn't have to if you live in the valley, you shouldn't have to spend money to go to Santa Monica.
Well, no, the problem.
find a rare
No,
Pokemon.
you know what the problem is? I'm fine with going to say Santa Monica once. I catch Dratini, I catch all the water types, and then I don't have to go back
I'm
to
not
level.
I'm not on the same
Yeah,
page
no.
as you, buddy. I mean, what's the distance? Where would you what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
like, how do
Would you
you-
find all 150
No.
Pokemon within a 1 mile radius?
No, but the only thing that spawns around here are Sandshrews, Rattatas, Pidgeys, and fucking
And in
Growlithe.
Santa Monica, not only do you get that,
You get
but you get the
Yeah.
added bonus of the
rare,
seed
the
type.
not
you
super
still
rare,
need
but that's
to-
like
Well,
you still need to
they get
fill
everything.
in.
Well, here's the
with it.
thing. What's unfair about it is that the game, in order to actually level up and evolve your Pokemon, you have to keep you have to keep catching the same type over and over and over again. It's not like, oh, remember that time we went to Santa Monica, we caught that Dratini, I've been training at my local gym and it evolved. I have to keep physically going back to the beach in order to get a Dratini. Whereas Joe Schmo, little Billy Bates over here is sitting in his grandpa's fucking $1 million mansion right next to the beach and is just getting Dratinis and magic cards.
I'm sure that happens all the time.
No, there probably is, and that's I don't think that's fair. I don't think that it's based on how much you catch. You catch it once, you work your ass off with one, and that was the whole game. I don't want to sit there catching the same types 100 times in order to level them up. It's not how the game was.
Exactly.
I see a little bit more that you want the focus to be on the training part.
Yeah, training and battling.
That's the whole point of Pokemon. It's not
collecting.
Well, gotta catch them all.
Collecting is what entices you.
That is
it is. That's what entices you. But what keeps you there is the really intricate battle system.
You're making it seem like catching Pokemon is what I was just saying. No, keep catching the same fucking Pokemon over and over to level them up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was about collecting Pokemon and then leveling up the Pokemon that you caught.
That's how you
no
get
one
the new
caught
ones.
8 fucking Pidgeys. No one was catching 14 Pikachus.
It would be amazing if you didn't have to have the app on the whole time. It can be a background application, and so literally as you're driving along, or I'm probably walking, or if you're moving at a specific speed, you get your phone buzzes, and then you pull it out, and then you catch that one Pokemon, as opposed to you're walking around and you're catching 30 freaking Rattatas. And then the training aspect comes into play. So then you are kind of incentivized to still walk and go to different places, Santa Monica. But
if they made it so that only Dragonites, only the super rare Pokemon were at special areas like San Francisco, Santa Monica.
Where are you going to put them? You know what I'm saying? What's the alternative to?
Just make what happens in Santa Monica, where you get literally every kind of Pokemon on Ocean Avenue. Everything. Charmanders, fucking...
Make it so that in the valley, there's where Charmander is. You can't... Not everyone can get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, well, I think except for the super rares.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So you still have to travel, you still have to go and meet people to go see, the super rare Pokemon. But, the rest of them, 130, shouldn't be that fucking hard to find. You could have 20 rare.
I was more interested, or I would be, if, say, for the gyms, it's yes, if it was just catch one and you train it, the goal to get the gyms is to instead be able to train your Pokemon there. So say I capture a gym, only Team Red can then train their Pokemon there to get stronger. That's more incentive to go out and capture more stuff rather than just babysitting there. Well, I captured it, now what and everything. It makes some sense. I would rather, and then there maybe be prime gyms that no one can conquer it, but then that's where you collect the badges. And that was another great thing about the game, just collecting these badges, and that gives you even more incentive to go to certain spots, because then it's oh, Garf doesn't have his badge yet. Let's all go to we all team up and we all go
to. You got to go to a new museum.
Exactly, you have to do that, and then if you get all 8, then you could have Elite Four events where if you win, then you're a member of the Elite. I don't know, but then you earn your right to get Mewtwo. You get a Master Ball if you do that. If you visit why they should have done that? If you do all the locations, you can unlock a Master Ball, and you have one, you can use that.
I do like that idea of, collecting the badges, and from there, that's how you level up your, not just...
It's another way.
Not only just catching and getting XP from these different ways that you, but now getting the badges, but the badges actually mean something. Because right now the badges don't really mean nothing.
Well, there are no badges. It's just another gym.
I mean,
honestly,
the little medals that you get. That's what I'm saying. Those mean nothing.
Those are just achievements.
Yeah, but those mean
honestly,
nothing.
They could have taken just the original Pokemon game, and they could have just thrown it on Google Maps, and it'd be
great.
Pretty freaking dope, man. I would play that.
Exactly. I agree 100%. I think another major thing that they missed out completely is the random encounters with people for battles.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge misstep, because that was battling each other in the deep battle system of the typing, the moves,
and they haven't
super effective.
They haven't announced any of that either, huh?
No,
it's in the code now.
Yeah, is it in the data mining now? The player combat.
You could battle.
What directly or
what happens if you battle?
We don't know yet. It hasn't been released.
The things that I've heard in the code is the legendary Pokemon. They've found that the trading, the fact that you can add a Pokemon, you choose a Pokemon to be your buddy, so kind of how Pikachu
follows you around.
Yeah, so that he follows you around to where actually on the map, I believe that they're gonna have it where when you're walking, your buddy Pokemon is there with you too. What else was there?
I really feel like they dropped the ball in the release. Like, they should have just waited.
Well, I just had this thought. Because we're asking a lot for a free game, but, I mean,
I
it's
would've rather
a
paid
free
10
game. I would have paid $60 for a phone app.
Game, yeah.
And so you're able to register one or two emails on that freaking app, and then that way if you lose your phone or you could easily start it up again. But man, I would have paid for a $60 full Pokemon game. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I don't think they would have ever done that though.
But why not though?
That's just not what you do.
It's never happened.
You can't. You don't. They
Just
don't.
because it's never happened before doesn't mean it's. I mean, why not?
No.
Why wouldn't you do it?
Because it's just, like, people aren't going to pay $60 for a phone game, I don't think.
I would never.
Yeah.
Never pay
Maybe
$60
not
for a phone
60.
game.
I wouldn't say 60.
You've played Pokemon Go more than any video game ever. Think about in recent years, and comparing it to the console games, with the exception of maybe Super Smash Brothers, the party game that we play here at the house. My point is, like, that's worth $60. The time that you spend on that phone.
I wouldn't say 60 because I consider it like a
I realize I've spent more than $60 on certain games on my phone.
On the freemium games.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But how much?
But that's different than paying $60
You've actually
upfront.
spent $60 worth of.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm sure there's
so maybe
plenty of people that have spent $60 or more, but that's the whole point of freemium games, is that you have that small section of the total players that are going to pay, whatever they figure amount of money, and those people alone pay for the game. So...
I'm sorry, you need to say that.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Dude, you have to.
I'm not saying that. Sorry.
This is the Geek Down, and I feel like that figure proves how much of a geek you.
What game? Now, what game was this that you?
Yeah, at least tell us the game.
March of Empires. It's like a castle war game.
Oh,
Is it kind of like a
so
tower
good.
defense game, or is
So
it?
No,
good.
it's like March of War, like, essentially.
I don't know.
That game that Conor McGregor and the chick shaped like a refrigerator.
Rosito.
No, but I still don't know what.
The model. What's her name?
With
the big tits.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh no.
Kate Upton.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, her. Melissa McCarthy.
Okay,
So sexy.
I still don't know what this game is, but okay,
John
continue.
Rambo.
The Kate Upton commercials where she's doing the.
It's like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Built
what?
like a fridge.
But handles like
I've never heard that phrase before.
Built like a fridge.
Cause she's not. She's like.
She's not. She's straight up and down with big tits.
Oh, good lord. Oh, back to the. How much did you spend on this game?
Good try. You're not getting me to say.
May I guess the number?
No.
Is it more than 100?
I know
Yes.
the number.
More than 200?
I'm not gonna say anymore.
Is it more than 150?
I'm not gonna say anymore.
Is it less than 500?
I'm not gonna say anymore.
Oh.
Price is Right rules. If you go over, that's.
He went over.
Okay, so there you
Just
go.
barely.
Oh,
Jesus
between 400 and 500, huh?
Yeah.
See? He subsidized the game for all those people who paid zero.
Well, the thing is that
I'm
you
wrong.
get. It's like a 12,000 person community where I know a good 80% of the people in this. 1,200 per like realm.
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
And all of the people who play actively spend money on the game, so, and a lot more than I do.
Just because everyone does it doesn't mean it's right.
I'm not saying it's right.
But that's
but
for a
what
lot
I'm
of those
saying is
games,
that
and
there's-
that's I have personally played games, and I've stopped playing because I realized if I didn't spend money, I was never gonna advance anywhere to where I was competitive. So I stopped playing the game.
You could in this game you could, and it's fun. I started off doing that, but I started taught like this is so sad. I started talking to a bunch of people in the game, and I have friends who are people that I only know in the game, and like I just wanted to keep playing at a high level with them, and so.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Not so much keeping up with the Joneses, because I could have done that. It's not like I had to do everything they did. I just wanted to keep playing.
I wonder if a solution to your problem, Garfias, in terms of you realizing you have to spend money
For some
to be
premium games.
to be competitive. Yeah, how do they? I mean, they can combat that by maybe pairing some of the the free users with people who spend more. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like one of the clan. I could imagine like.
Well, I mean, it all depends. As I was saying, some freemium games.
I mean, that happens in this game.
Oh,
Yeah, I would say some freemium games. There's you can still play the game without spending money, and it doesn't make any difference in terms of like the competitiveness. but I played one game like that was like Clash of Clans, but it was Star Wars version basically. And I got to a point where
That was a good game.
but I got to a point where I realized, man, these people are destroying me, and I'm trying to come back, and I can't do anything in them because I know they've had to have spent money to get where they're at. And if I didn't spend money, I wasn't ever going to be competitive. So I stopped. But I've also played Clash Royale, which paying money would really just get you to a point a little bit faster, but it didn't necessarily make you a lot better. It just puts you at a different point where you're playing people in that same level. Mm-hmm. And that game I was playing for a long time where I knew I didn't have to spend money to still enjoy and still be competitive and still think, oh, I have a chance to beat this guy. Mm-hmm. So it all depends on the game. And this is definitely not one of those games where, if you don't spend money, you feel like you're left out or you can't keep playing, because you definitely can.
Well, this game was worth it to me just because JD said earlier that if he was able to have the playability of the first Pokemon game, but on Google Maps, that is worth it because of the time he spends on it. He's right. I mean, if I wasn't spending an hour and a half a day on this game, I wouldn't care about it that much. But it's I've been playing it quite, around that level, more so when I was free, for the last 8 months. So, I mean, I don't really have another game that's like that I spent, a significant amount of money on.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
With,
we'll see if there's any updates, and we'll definitely talk about it, I guess, as they come, and see if we get some people to jump back on board, John David.
Will they, one last question. Do you think they'll do a completely different game for the next 100-something Pokemon, or do you think that'll just be a major update?
No,
They say they're going to add.
I feel like they're not going to do a Pokemon Go 2, essentially. I think they're
going to keep adding. Update.
They're going to update, they're going to, tweak things, they're going to change things, they're going to add things, they're going to add new Pokemon. I don't think they would go the route of, Pokemon Go 2 now with the next 150 or whatever.
Because that would suck. Imagine you've spent all this time trying to catch these things, and then the update means, or this new game, you just start over, but with...
Yeah, I don't think they would do that.
Yeah, that would really suck. What I thought was interesting, if they do eventually do this update, is like with certain Pokemon now that don't evolve, but that do evolve in the next one, whereas like in Generation 2, Onix evolves. So say right now if you're catching a bunch of Onixes, then by Pokemon Go, the update, you can then immediately evolve it into Steelix. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was something interesting. But that's another thing I didn't like about this one, was that it was more of a, besides a numbers game, because certain Pokemon, like you had to trade them in order to evolve. They could only evolve at night. You had to use a stone. And so that was like other interesting things that they could have incorporated. But
hopefully more updates. Yeah. It's going to take a lot for me to download it again. I don't know.
I think it's just more if you see other people playing, you might just jump back on board.
I'm in the same.
You were still playing. You were playing longer than I was. Your fiance is still playing.
Well, I also started weeks after you, though.
You are behind a lot.
Yeah, I was behind far. I mean, it's probably to the point now where we play.
You're on Venmo now, by the way. That's cool.
I mean, I don't think
very funny picture.
Welcome to the...
I just put something, I don't know.
Like Charlie Kelly's picture in his dating profile.
Oh, he has a weird picture on it?
Yeah, I do. I need to put a new one. But I don't have any pictures of myself on my phone, so I just took something really quick.
It's a dick pic.
It is not a dick pic.
It's really small.
That's not how it looks at all.
I'm looking at it right now.
Please pretend. Please stop staring at me right now.
Let me describe.
Stop undressing me with your eyes.
It's a picture on Venmo, and
it's got a leftward lilt.
Is that a McChicken? That's a McChicken in the photo.
You are looking at the wrong picture.
Good alliteration.
It's a McChicken.
I do not hear his alliteration, so...
What was it? Yeah, one more time.
Leftward lilt.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know, it's really good.
I think on that note, we can call it a day.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yeah, we...
Dicks out for Harambe.
God.
What's that reference? What's I don't know the Harambe.
Harambe, that's the gorilla that they killed.
Oh,
yeah. That's the name of the gorilla?
Someone doesn't go on Black people Twitter on Reddit?
No, I don't.
Wow.
That's the fourth black person joke we've made.
I haven't made any.
Sorry, this is a subreddit. This isn't a joke. It's an awesome subreddit.
That's the third, fourth.
And mine was done out of sarcasm. I was trying to point out the ridiculousness.
He was talking about how much he likes slavery.
I don't know if I believe you, so we are going to call it a day now.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
There's only one black joke.
Thank you for joining us. We had John David.
Don't cut any of this.
We had Bobby. We had Adam Barajas and your host, Garfias. Thank you. That was really fun.